Hello, today I'm going to go over Arctic and Antarctic sea ice extent comparison graphing. So we have some information here that talks about the differences between the two areas, the North and South Pole, or the Arctic and the Antarctic. And we're looking at sea ice. So this is ice that is floating in the ocean. This is not ice that's on land, like up in the mountains. So what you're going to do is you have two data tables, right? Arctic sea ice extent, and it has the years, and then two different months. Same thing for the Antarctic, the years and two different months. Now you're going to graph each one of these on one graph. I'll show you what I mean. So let me go to the next page. And I've already started this for you. But what you can see is on the bottom, we're going to have our dates. So from 1980 to 2020. And then along the y-axis, we'll do the sea ice extent, millions of kilometers. And this first one is going to be for the Arctic. Now what you're going to see is we're going to make two lines on here. And I've got different colors. March is in red. So let's take a look at March. 1980 was 16 million. So 1980, 16 million for March. And then 1985 was 15.9. So right about there. And I'm going to continue this line all the way across, right? Connecting points. Do the same thing with September in blue. In this case, September for 1980 was 7.7. Right about there. And then for 1985, it was 6.7. So maybe about there. And these are the two, we're looking at these 2 months because you're generally going to see in March in the Arctic more sea ice, because that's going to be winter or the end of winter in the Arctic. And then in September, the end of summer, you have your least amount of ice. So that's what we're looking at. Now, Antarctica, remember, is on the other side of the world. Their summers and winters are flipped, okay? But you're going to graph the data here for the Arctic and then graph the data for the Antarctic on this bottom one using two lines going across. Now, you're going to see two different trends. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but the lines for the Arctic are going to look different than the lines for the Antarctic. And you're going to have to start thinking about why there is a difference there. Now, talks about it a little bit up here, but I just want to review a few things with you, so this will help with your analysis here. What is the major difference between the North and South Poles? Well, let's look at this map. Here's the North Pole, and the North Pole is mainly open ocean. You've got Greenland coming up close, but look at all of this is all open ocean. And in the South Pole, right in the middle, is this big continent of Antarctica. So two different setups, right? Big landmass at the South Pole, open water at the North Pole. And that's going to cause some differences between these two. What happens is in the open ocean here, warm water can get in to this Arctic basin because of ocean currents. Once sea ice starts to melt, the open ocean actually absorbs more sunlight than the ice that's sitting on there. So as the sea ice melts each year, more and more heat can be absorbed into the ocean water, where in the Antarctic, you don't have the melting of the ice so much on the continent here. We're just talking about the sea ice surrounding it. And even though it's open here, the Southern Ocean makes a circle. the currents form a circle around Antarctica. They actually keep a lot of warmer currents from coming into Antarctica. So it's that current that keeps it insulated. Because of that, again, you don't have a lot of these warmer currents coming in. You don't have a lot of that ocean water heating up because of this big landmass here. Also, this whole area is covered in ice, so it's reflecting a lot of the sunlight back. A lot of the sunlight's not being absorbed here in this region. And the coldest spot has no sea ice, right? Because there's no sea at the coldest spot, which is right at the South Pole. Okay, so yeah, take a look at the trends, explain why there's differences in the two trends based on the geography of these two regions. Hope this helps. Thanks.